What's so crazy about this is that after being saved now for multiple years, Abraham goes back and commits the same sin that he committed before he was saved. Remember, 3 chapters before Abraham believed on the Lord and got justified, Abraham committed this sin where he lies to Pharaoh and gets Pharaoh to almost commit adultery with his wife. But now, 5 chapters after this, which is probably like decades after he got saved, he's about to commit the same sin again. And Abraham said of Sarah, his wife, "She is my sister." And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said unto him, "Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, she is a man's wife." But Abimelech had not come near her, and he said, "Lord, wilt thou slay a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, She is my sister? And she even said herself, He is my brother? In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this." And God said unto him in a dream, "Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore this man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live." So Abraham goes back and commits the same sin, and God even calls it a sin. So there's no way around this. This is a sin. He bears false witness, almost allows Abimelech to commit adultery, which is a sin, also gets Sarah to lie, which is a sin. So after decades of being saved, Abraham still is committing the same sins that he was before he was saved. You know, if what this pastor said was true, that if you ain't changed, you ain't saved, then Abraham was never saved. But of course, we know what Romans says, which was written far after the book of Genesis. It says that Abraham was justified. He was saved. So he's still committing the same sin.
First and foremost, I want to give praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahshua by Hashem Kadash. I want to give double honor to the apostle and elders, a great millstone that tell us its truth, and show on to the hopeful elect that doing the best in their ability to build their faith in this truth and to please Yahweh by Hashem Yahshua. So I just want to make a really quick lesson, just going over what Abraham was doing when he called Sarah, his wife, his sister. Because I've seen a video, which I'm going to attach at the beginning of the video, but basically this Edomite was basically talking about how Adam was basically sinning again by lying to Abimelech, if that's how you pronounce his name, telling him that's his sister. But the thing is, it's one of these things you have to read further down to get the context of why he said that, because everything has a context within the scriptures, and if you don't get those contexts, you're not going to know what you're talking about. So I'm just going to read down until that point. We ain't finna read the whole chapter. We might read the whole chapter, who knows. But this is Genesis 20 verse 1. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned. Hold on. It's a lot here. Hold on. Let's see. Well, that didn't help. But I think it's sojourned in Gerar. So like if I didn't pronounce those words correctly. But let's continue on to verse 2. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister, and Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. Basically, they took Sarah, to the castle or wherever they took her. But Yahweh came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. Meaning, Yahweh came to Abimelech in a dream, telling him that, hey, this woman is a man's wife, and basically calling him he's a dead man. Not like he's gonna die, but like he's basically a dead man if he does anything. But watch this. This is Emma. Hold on. So it's Abimelech. So yeah, Abimelech have not came near her, and he said, Lord, will it thy slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, said he unto me, she is my sister, and she even says herself said, he is my brother in the integrity of my heart, and innocency of my hands have I done this. And Yahweh said unto him in a dream, I know that ye didn't this in thy integrity of thy heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. In the NLT, it says, in the dream, Yahweh responded, yes, I know you are innocent. That's why I kept you from sinning against me, and why I did not let you touch her. Meaning he didn't touch her as in he didn't sleep in it, right? Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live, and if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. Meaning all of his people inside his kingdom, right? Or within that nation, but kingdom. Verse 8, therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told all these things in thy ears. And the men were sore afraid. So he was very afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, What has it thy done unto us? And what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. So basically what he's saying, he's asking Abraham, why would he bring such a sin against him and his people, and basically lie to him. And after verse 9, that's where the Edomite just basically stopped and saying, yeah, he did this, he lied to him. But the thing is, if you read on, Abraham wasn't lying to him just to lie to him. He was lying to him because of a very good reason. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of Yahweh is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. So what does that mean? And let me read the NLT. Abraham replied, I thought this is a godless place. They will want my wife and will kill me to get her. Meaning Abraham lied and lied. He didn't lie. Well, yeah, he did lie. Actually, let's read down verse 8. It says, and yet indeed, she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And it says, verse 13, and it came to pass when Yahweh caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, this is thy kindness, of which thou shalt shew unto me at every place rather we shall come. Say of me, he is my brother. Basically saying that he told Sarah that, hey, just in case, basically, you do me a favor and promise me that if anyone asks, if any man asks, say, this is my brother. So that way they won't go after Abraham to kill him, so they can get his wife Sarah. And if you notice, he said he felt like that place, that kingdom, was a godless, godless, basically a place that doesn't fear Yahweh, right? And if we go down, it says, and Abimelech took sheep and ox and maidservants, women servants, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him Sarah as his wife. And Abimelech said, behold, my land is before thee, dwell where it pleaseth thee. And unto Sarah he said, behold, I have given thee thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to thee a covering of the eyes unto all that are with thee, and with all other thus she was reproved. And this is what Abraham did in return after he gave back his wife and gave him those things. So Abraham prayed unto Yahweh, and Yahweh healed Abimelech and his wife and his maidservants, and they bare children. Oh, I guess we read the entire thing. Anyway, verse 18, it says, for the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai had fast closed up all the wounds of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Basically, he wasn't lying. So the whole point is he wasn't lying just to lie to Abimelech. He lied to Abimelech because he was afraid that he will be killed if he said, this is my wife. Because he didn't fear that he thought that place wasn't a place of fearing Yahweh B'Shem Shah. So, to keep himself alive, he told Sarah to promise me to tell them, ye are my sister, and that I'm your brother, right? And I kind of want to get a verse for this. I can't really remember. Let's see. I'm trying to hurry before I have to go back, but see if I can get it later. But, oh. Here's one. Let's see. I'll be right back. Okay, I found it. So this is Matthew 9, verse we start at 28. So this is Matthew 9, verse 28, and this is going into how Yahweh shall heal the blind. So it says, and when he was come into the house, the blind man came to him, and Yahweh says unto them, believe ye that I am able to do this? They said unto him, Yea, Lord. Then touched he their eyes, saying, According to your faith be it unto you. He healed him, right? Oh. Okay. And their eyes were opened, and Yahushua sternly changed them, saying, See that no man know it. Or in the NLT, it says, Then their eyes were opened, and they could see Yahushua. Sternly warned them, Don't tell anyone about this. And this goes into Matthew 6 verse 3, where it also says, Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Basically, Abraham telling what was his name? Oh, telling that the Pharaoh. Let me go look for it. I think it was what's my oh yeah, I remember. Give me a second. Okay. And yeah, Abimelech. Yeah. So when Abraham was lying to Abimelech, saying when he told him, "That's my sister," and she said, and also said that he is her brother. He wasn't lying just to be spiteful and send a curse to a kingdom. He was lying because, he was afraid that the place they were in, his kingdom, was a non-fearing a non-fearing kingdom of Yahweh, right? So that's what he said. He just didn't let them know what his right hand was doing. He just told them a lie so they can believe that lie. And Yahweh came into Abimelech for a dream. I think it's Abimelech, into a dream, and kept him from sinning, but also told him to release Sarah. He did it. Abraham was doing it out of the safety of himself and for his wife. That's why he did it. So I hope the lesson was edifying, and I just want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakadash. And with that, I want to say Shalom.